hot seat. Oh, geez, I'm looking forward to today's conversation. I have an immense amount of respect for these two gentlemen, and I'm just stoked to have you guys on the podcast. But yeah, obviously we've done a few episodes now, and people have been hanging out saying, "When's Theo coming on the podcast? When are you going to get the big guy on?" And we've got him in here today, but not alone. We've got something pretty special in here as well. So Peter Cox, Leadership Dynamics, welcome to the Usher podcast.
Thank you, Mikel. Thank you, Theo.
Yep.
Welcome, mate.
Thank you.
No, awesome, mate.
First time here, mate, for me too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's wild, eh? So, pretty special today to have you guys both here. And I think we're here for, obviously we want to dive into a few things. I want to really unpack a few things about you guys and the journey you guys have been on together, but also about where you're going, because there's something pretty exciting brewing. And I think we want to be able to share that with the world. So, but before we go there, I guess I want to be able to connect the dots for people that haven't really known much about the background and how you guys started getting connected. But if you want to give us a bit of a rundown on how you guys met and what that journey looked like, but it was a bit of a funny circumstances. So, kick us off.
All right, do you want me to go?
Away you go, Theo.
Rightio. Well, I got given this book, and it was I don't even know what the title. It was how to replace
your business shouldn't need you. Start to replace yourself in 180 days.
So it was a little book, and I picked it up, and the first chapter was being led, and I was like, oh, far out, here we go. Like, right, so I didn't understand what that meant at first, because there's all these buzzwords like mentorship or coaches, business coaches and the like, but this really dived into the psyche of it about you as a person should be comfortable about being led. And, we're all in the, we are in the construction industry. We've got a lot of bravado people in the construction industry. You try telling another tradesperson, oh, mate, I want to be led and, stuff like that. They'd be like, okay, what are you talking about? You whatever, right?
It's just not talked about, right?
Yeah, it's just not talked about. But then, if you take that word out and you take the mentor word out and take out, coaching or whatever, just get away from that mentality and just actually think about the psyche of it. Actually, submit yourself to being comfortable with asking experts, questions or people that are better at a certain field than you, and be okay with it and be comfortable with it. And then I read that. And so he didn't dive into, calling it mentorship and this and that, but just you as a person, be comfortable with putting your hand up, be comfortable with saying, hey, I want to ask these questions. Oh, and the biggest thing about it was, allow yourself to be led, and then when I read that chapter, I thought about it, I was like, mate, I've been led my whole life by my mates, my parents, my colleagues, my friends at Usher,
and a lot of people would be surprised to hear that. I think from the outside looking in, people see you and they glorify it and they say, look at Theo and he's done this all by himself.
That's not true.
It's not true.
No, it's not true. Think about it. Even in sporting worlds, no one wins a team wins matches, or no one wins a gold medal on their own. They've got nutritionists, coaches, leadership teams. Everyone is led. And when you actually submit yourself and become that vulnerable person about being led and being comfortable with it, and then start putting your hand up more to go, what areas in my life do I need to be led? What areas do I need help with to become a better version of myself? That's what grabbed me. And then I had that book and I'm like, holy shit. I started this going, oh, far out, here we go. Another bloody leadership, story about something, that I wasn't, but I was like, I'll give it a crack. Dude, I did not pick that up and put that book down. I dropped that over that whole weekend, contacted him. He responded to me. Then I rang him. I contacted him by email. Go like, who's this bloke? I'm reaching out to him. Contacted him, and now here we are. We are 6 years later,
it's crazy, isn't
five
it?
or 6 years later, being obviously the driving factor of the leadership team here at the Usher Group. Obviously, being my personal mentor, leader, whatever you want to call it, and has made me more accountable to myself more than anything else has, because I've become better because I grade myself. We're our own biggest critics, right? But without that perspective of, being comfortable with it and checking in with yourself.
Someone to challenge you in the right areas and to ask the right questions.
Yeah, and he goes into so deep into so many other things, as you know. But you know, you ask those questions. You leave a one-on-one session with him going, you know, I want to be that person. I want to make that change.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to ask myself those questions in a month before I see him again. I'm going to rock up to that one-on-one meeting, and I'm not rocking up there not doing that work.
Well, you know, if you don't, he's going to drill you. He doesn't mess around. So
I'm not rocking up there and getting hammered by. I'm nailing this,
Yeah,
and not only am I nailing it, I'm going to exceed it.
Absolutely.
And then when you start implementing that type of behavior into your life, just from having someone leading you, your whole world changes.
Yeah.
And it changes quick, not slow, because you're thinking the right way. You're thinking positivity. You're manifesting with the right intent every day. You're doing behaviors of millionaires and billionaires and stuff. You're not doing stupid shit with your mates.
Yep.
You've got priorities and you've got structure. And you're like, no, I'm sticking to this. I'm gonna do this. And then you get those results real quick. And when you get that first one, it's a drug.
Yes. Yep.
Because now you're addicted to the success. And you're like, man, I've just fixed that. I'm a better communicator. I can read people now better. I know how to see if someone's being vulnerable or acting in a way instead of me reacting negatively. That just creates more negativity. I know hurting people are hurting. I know how to put people in the right role. All these things start coming out. All these tools start coming out of that because you've actually looked more inside yourself.
Absolutely.
And when you do that, the whole world changes.
I remember that moment as well when you came back and you dropped that book, and that was your exact words, that you chewed this book up in one weekend, and he came back to the Usher leadership team and talked about the impact that this book had on him, and the feeling you had within him that was really drawn to you, Coxie, within the book and what you were saying and what he needed to learn within himself to evolve himself in the business to the next level, but also the leadership team within that. And I mean, listening to that, how does that make you, like, what was the intention behind when you wrote the book? Is that the impact you wanted to have, or how does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote that book because I see so many business owners that own businesses that struggle to really, they've got a job. They don't have a life or a lifestyle.
It's a common misconception, isn't it? People think that I'm a business owner, but really they've just bought themselves a full-time
job.
Yeah.
Put themselves in a jail.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been led for 33 years of my life.
What does
I
that
had two
look like
mentors. It was the turning point of my life when I allowed myself, and this was when Debbie asked me for a divorce, to be led by someone I trusted. It was May 1992, where I realised, man, I don't have all the answers here. I thought I was doing well financially, doing well in business, but I've got some changes I've got to make, or I'm going to lose everything.
Wow.
And I stepped out on faith, and I was led for 22 years. I'm led by someone in the US today. What gives me the right to lead Theo if I'm not led? I don't have all the answers. I got some new answers 2 weeks ago on an hour Zoom with my mentor about a couple of things about business, finances, my personal life, my spiritual life. I have someone speaking into my life, challenging me, making me accountable. And it's such an important part of becoming successful.
Yes.
But you'll only allow yourself to be led if you want to be successful. That's the bottom line. If you want more out of your life, if you're not happy where you're at and you think you've got more in you, then you've got to find someone that you trust. And, PaintProjex is born out of that principle as well, that Theo's giving all his IP away after 23, 24 years. And you can subscribe to it because he wants to lead you as a painter on how to make more money in the business and how to have less stress in the business and how to impact your life.
Yes. Yep.
If you follow PaintProjex, you need to allow it to lead you.
Well, that's what I mean. PaintProjex, that's the tool that you use to grow this huge organization at the Usher Group.
It's the secret.
It was the secret,
Success.
Obviously, as a tool, that was the secret. And then you combine that with leadership, with growing, with scaling through the right people. And, maybe taking a step back, you read the book, you reached out to Coxie.
Mhm.
I've got a question for Coxie. What attracted you to actually working with Theo? Because obviously, I'm sure you've got a lot of people that reach out. From what I understand, you're selective at your time.
Yeah, I know.
So, well,
we were
maybe give us
quite
a bit of
lucky for him
advice,
to like
yeah.
take us on. Really,
Oh,
like,
absolutely. That's
yeah.
what I mean. You yourself are actually very selective in who you invest your time into. You're working with professional athletes. You're working with business owners all around the globe. Thousands and thousands of people that you've been in leadership capacity with in your time. What's attracted you to working with Theo?
Well, I remember
what is it?
the first time I met Theo was at Snapper Rocks in that little coffee shop where you now live around.
Oh,
there
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Before the D-Bar Cafe.
And he came bouncing in like a Energizer bunny. Right. And I'd heard some very amazing things about Theo, and I realised that I was sitting next to a born leader, not a natural leader. When you look at what Theo has done in his life and what he's doing today and the way he thinks, the number of people that follow him, I just knew that I could maybe add a little bit of polish and tweak it to help him get to that next level of leadership.
Yep.
And he is he's born to lead. And
so you identified that in him, and that attracted you to going, you know what, this is someone that I would like to invest my time into to see the impact that's going to have.
Yes, because I've been in business for a long time myself, and I love what I do, but I need to lead people that I learn from and give me energy as well. It can't be Groundhog Day for me when I lead people. So that's such an important part of.
And that passion too, like you wouldn't be able to be in a situation where they're not showing up, they're not doing the work, they're not being held accountable. Like you're dealing with high profile, you know what I mean?
I've got to be with people that I know are going to be all in because I'm all in. You know, I'm all in as well. I'm all in.
Yeah, you've got to be. Yeah,
I've been all in,
and he's hard too. Like he's hard on us, you know,
the best way possible.
Yeah. So it's like when I mentor and lead someone like Theo, I'm wearing the Usher jersey. Like when I was involved in State of Origin last year with Michael Maguire, the players knew that I was wearing the jersey. I was all in for them to create history. It wasn't just an outsider putting his toe in. I'm all in or I don't do it.
Love that.
And, you know, for anyone, like, if you're in that situation where you know where you're at, right? You can't get change without change, right? And sometimes we get caught up in so much of the day-to-day, and we know that there's something out there, but having that vulnerability to put your hand up and go, I'm gonna reach out to an expert or someone that I resonate with or I'm comfortable with. You got to have that connection. Absolutely. We had that connection the day we met.
Yes.
If you don't have that connection, if you don't have that connection and passion for what the better version or the future looks like, then you're not going to get that result, you know?
Yes, yep.
And when you have that connection and you know you want that change, then man, it's on. And then you start going.
And I think what's important is that the High Performance Team Masterclass that we have done together, targeting the information for painters, right? It's all well and good having the software. But if you don't know how to lead people, you don't know how to get right people in right roles, you don't know how to build a culture, and you don't know how to grow better behaviours in that team, then you can have the software, but you won't self-actualise and be able to take the business from where you are now to wherever you really want to take it.
100%. But that's like for every business, hey, like Michael, like, you know, as well as I do, like we've got great systems and processes, but it's not what that just drives our company. And without it, we wouldn't be where we are because we need systems and process and we need transparency. We need connectivity between departments. We need one single source of truth. We want to be able to pull reports with one button. Like, you know, we want that accessibility.
Absolutely.
But that's just going to guide our people. But if we're not going to build the right behaviors and leadership structure, no business is going to grow out of that nightmare zone because you're just going to keep spinning.
This is what I love about what you guys are doing with this masterclass that you're putting together is that these are lessons that you've learned with your business and your journey. Firstly, with the software.
You and I live it every day at Usher.
We live it every day, yeah, that's right. But you've learned it with the software.
Yeah.
you're sharing that with, you've already
That's
started
all
sharing that
our
with the world.
IP.
That's out.
Sharing in 4 countries now.
4 countries, yep.
Yeah.
But the next stage of that you guys have been working on is now incorporating.
Is the next stage.
Yep.
Yeah. Because we're getting, it doesn't matter whether you're manning your van or trucking your truck, as they call it in the US, whether you're a tradie becoming a business owner, or you're actually a business owner that was a tradie or not and running a trade business, right? We all started somewhere, but it's that next stage, and that's the real development stage. And that's where you really start getting things that you're saying, livability, like lifestyle. You're working more on it and growing and nurturing this organic business than something that's a broken hamster wheel that you're
when you grow people, you grow businesses. You need the software. 100% you need that IP. But if you're not growing yourself as a leader to lead that team with the new software, it's not going to take you to where it could really take you.
Well, it's impossible to scale, isn't it? Unless you can transfer those skills and that you can give other people ownership. If it's all reliant on you, you could be the best person at using the PaintProjex software.
Yeah.
But if you can't transfer that skill to someone else and empower them to actually use it, then it's going to be you. You're never going to grow your business to that next level, are you? And
you know what? You made a really good point just before too, Coxie, about if how can we hold one-on-ones and potentially lead as a leadership team if we're not showing that we've got that same vulnerability to be led as well. And everyone at Usher, they know exactly, like I've got multiple mentors, as you know, and everyone, like, at Usher, Michael, like what's part of our performance measures is, have you got external mentors? Have you got people that you can lean on? What people are you catching up with in our industry outside of Usher that you are nurturing and building and getting more personal growth from? It's part of our matrix at Usher and our performance measures. Like
it is,
when we do our yearly, employee reviews, it's like, who are they being mentored by? We highly encourage it. And not only is the leadership program that Coxie does obviously here, but we want our people to grow more and see that. And if they're seeing that we're doing it, then it replicates all the way down.
So we feel like we've refined that. Obviously, leadership is something that's always evolving and changing. And as your business grows or contracts, what have you observed, Coxie, with working with Theo and the Usher Group for the last 5 or 6 years? How do you feel like, where have you seen growth as a result of investing in leadership?
I look at the growth of key people like yourself. I look at the CEO, Stuart Ryan, where he is today. He's unrecognisable from the Stuart Ryan I started with 5 years ago.
He's a weapon.
He is absolutely. Would you agree with that,
Absolutely.
though?
100%.
Yeah.
He's
Huge
a weapon.
transformation.
Yeah. And he's getting better every we're all getting better.
Transformational leadership. Like the way in which everyone communicates with each other, I think, has more respect now. There's more honest conversations.
So important.
Which builds culture. Because if you don't have honest conversations, then you can't build trust. So I think trust has improved. Theo's been able to take more of a board level in the business because he's got better leaders in the organisation now. But this has been a 5-year journey and I don't know, 500 one-on-ones, and it hasn't just happened
overnight. But look at where we started to where we are today. Like
that's right.
I've observed too. We've actually contracted in terms of people and geographics, but we've grown in revenue, and we're nailing our core services. We're getting more with less because we've grown our people.
Correct.
And I think what I noticed when you came in too is that the leadership was hard, and we noticed a big impact, but it was so. Like it was pushing people to either get on board with the right behaviors and attitudes and buy into that culture and grow, or was pushing them out the door, and that can be a hard thing for people to face. But we actually had a few people, when your leadership came in and the changes started happening, there was pushing people out, but it's because they weren't previously being held accountable.
Correct.
And there was just, there was a lot of enablement of just behaviors and accepting of how people were just carrying on in the business. And as soon as we started embracing some of this leadership, that's when we started to really see change. And we were pushing people out. We were attracting the right people in.
Correct.
We were looking at the personality profiles. We were asking the right questions. And then that's when we really saw efficiency and growth come through. And it wasn't necessarily a growth in people, like the people were growing, but not in numbers. It was in their ownership,
their behaviours and their effectiveness.
Yeah. And we're keeping an eye on, what creates a really effective culture. We do have really strong nurturing family culture environment where we're all about organic growth and nurturing and whatnot, but we're also not too heavy in that aspect, and also have some high performance measures, but also not too heavy in there, because we were like that a while ago.
Burnt some people out.
And we burnt some people out. We burnt good people out that because we pushed too hard. But then obviously when COVID hit, we had our family values were nurturing and whatnot, and then we all got a bit complacent, And then somewhere in the middle is the magic zone, where we've got really good, safe environment. Our people respect, nurtured and love working here. It's like a buzzing beehive.
Yes.
But also we're hungry for that, that satisfaction from performing and kicking ass all the time. We've got that hunger, but we also know we protect each other.
And it's the rhythms that we put in with all these one-to-one meetings. That was something you brought in straight away, was this accountability of having one-to-one meetings with your direct reports and your management, and that we were bringing on a monthly basis, and that cadence and that rhythm. And then that was bringing everything to the surface so that we could actually have honest conversation to address it, rather than just being busy,
And if you think about what comes out of that one-on-one process, when you guys read stuff, there's gold in there sometimes.
Mate. There's vulnerability in there.
There's honesty.
There's honesty. There's raw truth.
Yep.
There's tears.
There's
anger.
I don't actually.
There's passion.
I've got to ask this because I don't know. So with the masterclass that you guys are putting together, so now you're taking what's worked for the Usher Group.
Yeah.
And you're making this masterclass within PaintProjex that's got modules.
Specifically for painters. So basically, he's lead High Performance Masterclass. We have it here at Usher. We've been doing it for 5 years. But now we've really, Coxie and I got together and tailored it specifically for the painting industry, because we take the masterclass, but then we've already got our Usher IP in the background. We know the behaviors, we know the things that we expect those different roles to have, because we've done that work. So what we've done together is I grabbed all the stuff that we've done, that we apply after his leadership, mentorship, one-on-ones that he does with all our key people, and we've put it into a combined package. So now when painters do this online course, they are learning the best of both worlds. They've got Coxie's brilliance in leadership, expertness, and all the Usher IP that we've grabbed everything out of that, turned it, Usher-fied it specifically for the painting industry. So what's the best type of role for an estimator? What's the best profile for a salesperson? What's the best type of role for a project manager? All these things we've built in the Usher side together with Coxie, and now create this, it's crazy, this high performance masterclass specifically for painters.
Correct.
It's like nuts. And we went through it again the other day, like just really fine tuning, and I'm going to say they've been on me as well, because I'm really want it bang on specific. Like I want it nailed for the painters, because I'm so passionate. I want them to nail it. We all know the stories we're hearing from all our other hundreds of users that are using PaintProjex, and it's changing the lives of painters in 4 countries. Now they're ready for that next step, which is this, because look what happened to us when we implemented it.
Absolutely.
We changed our whole world. And now I've got this whole big posse of painters that follow me now through this PaintProjex platform. Now I'm evolving them to the next step. And then we've got the next step for them after that. They've got to do this masterclass for 12 months. And then we do this next step, which is then becoming then the mentor. So
Correct.
Then their team we've got to get the owners to do it first. Like I did.
Correct.
I had to go through it first before my team went through it.
Correct.
That's true.
So I want all the owners that are on this PaintProjex journey, right? We want all the owners doing this high performance masterclass first. Then they know all the details of it. They know what steps you got to go through to get them to become the start of their leadership journey. Once they've gone through it themselves, just like I did, the owners themselves, not anyone else in their business,
Yes. Yep.
just them. That's what I want to happen now. We've got hundreds of businesses out there that are on there. I want them to do it first. Once they've done that 12-month program, then they're ready to do the stage 2 of that, which is then going to get them in preparedness to do the mentoring on the one-on-one of their employees. But that's when they get to take that nightmare zone cap off and start putting the right people in the right roles. We've got to get them to do this class for this first masterclass. Once they do that, then their key people can start that class. They will then start the next one, and they'll be nurturing and growing the right people that are in the right roles during that first stage. And you watch what happens then. We will transform thousands of painters around the globe the right way, and they will be set for success. We've already heard the stories already of how much in the short amount of time, that how much profitability, accountability, that people know what a fair day's work for a fair day's pay is. They know how to report up, not be told how they're going on their jobs. They're reporting up to their business owners going, we're going to beat the hours, or, hey, we're not going to beat the hours because of this or whatever. So we're already creating that now through PaintProjex. Now they're ready for the next step to learn how to be a leader. But they've got to do that program. And only the ones that complete it are going to be offered the stage 2.
Correct.
We're not going. It's going to be exclusive because I
So
want the
the
ones.
mentality behind that.
Oh mate, because
was that driven by you, Coxie?
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, because like we
You
want
had to do the same thing.
you got to nail it. You got to show up.
Yep.
You got to perform.
And there's, it's been designed for busy people.
Yes. Yep.
There's 12 video modules broken into 3 10-minute bites every month. So you've got to do 30 minutes a week.
It's not even much. Like, come on.
30 minutes a week, which is 10-minute video bite of module 1, let's say. And then there's the online work booklet,
The homework,
which is like they're being mentored one-on-one by me, and they've got to have personal accountability and fill out that as a business owner of what I've challenged them about to do and implement off the back of what they've written down. Yep. So there's personal accountability with this program. We can't make people do this as a business owner.
And we don't want to either.
No, you got to want to do it.
Reveal themselves.
I'm going to be sitting there going, I want to be watching who's nailing it.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's for me, because I know whoever's like that, just like Dylan, that only the ones that nail it, I'm going to be tapping them on the shoulder going, you come with me.
Leaders reveal themselves.
You've got to want to grow yourself as a leader. I mean, what your painting business needs from you right now is to be a better leader, not a better painter.
That's right.
There's a big difference. You're already good at painting.
Yeah, you're already master trading.
We get it.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
That's not what this is about. It's how do you maximize your people using the PaintProjex software by inspiring them, casting vision, right people in right roles, having the emotional intelligence, knowing where people are on that emotional guidance scale. There's 22 different levels of emotion, understanding how to resolve conflict, understanding what personality profile do I need for that particular role on site. It's all in the program.
They're all the gold nuggets.
That's the gold
Huge.
nuggets that's going to maximize how you use the software.
Yeah. And I tell you, mate, we can look back at this in a year's time and we can pluck out those guys or girls that completed it, and they will be a different version of themselves.
Correct.
They'll sit right here on this seat saying how much it changed their lives and how successful they now are, and they'll be hungry for the next episode. They'll be hungry for that next stage. What's that next? Give me module 2. Give me, because it's a drug, right? When you succeed, you want to succeed again. And when
not only that, when you start seeing people within your organization, your team succeed, like that's
all time. Like, and you get hungry for it because it's actually not that hard. You know what it is? You just got to show up and do the work. You show up and do the work, and you change your life.
And,
That's how.
And I think
it's pretty simple, right?
I think you said something very important there, though, that it's going. That you develop PaintProjex, Theo, and invested millions and millions and millions of dollars into that platform.
Yeah, we have.
Over what? Over how many
Since
years?
17, 18, since we rebuilt it.
8 years
Yeah,
of investment, okay?
Well, we built it in 2010 first, or 2008
did it
first.
wrong,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is what I did with
Yeah.
HPTM as well, right? So, but here we are now, and now any painter in 4 or 5 countries right now can subscribe and take advantage of your 23, 24 years of IP.
It's all Usher IP. Everything's in there.
Right. Okay. And you made a comment then that that we want to see the lives change of members of Paint Projects. And my mission statement, as you know, in Leadership Dynamics, is to build stronger leaders, audio leader, to live a better life. You are definitely living a better life than what you were 5, 6 years ago.
Well, that's definitely no doubt about it. But not only that, but I've got better clarity of what I wanted my life
in your
to
life.
be.
The vision.
And having the confidence. You can say, oh, I've got the balls to do this or do that or whatever, but it's having the confidence to do it because you've done the work to get there. I know what I want my life to look like now. I didn't know exactly how I wanted that to be. Now I know what I want to be, and I know what I've got to do to get there. And I know I can't get there without my people growing.
Correct.
There's no way I could live the life that I live right now without this man being a weapon, without Stuart being a weapon, without Shane being a weapon, and every other person in this company at Usher that has grown up with us. We have, as we know, 52 people that have done over 10 years in this company. We have our core legacy group right now, and they are all weapons. And they could easily take that Usher badge off and go work anywhere else and be weapons in their own right. They all are. But here together, we are something so much better from being led the right way.
And Paint Projects fulfills my mission statement of building stronger leaders to live better lives. I've got absolutely no doubt, zero doubt, that if you're a business owner, painter with a small to large team, and you do this masterclass, High Performance Team Masterclass, that your life will be significantly impacted. If you do the 12 modules, it will change your life. That much I will guarantee.
Yeah, there's no other result. There's no other result other than it will change exactly who you are. Right, you look yourself in the mirror today, and then look yourself in the mirror in 12 months' time.
Unrecognizable.
You will be a changed person. And you know what? I recommend everyone, like people hear this sort of stuff, go ghost mode. Don't tell anyone. Just sign up, do the masterclass, do it on your own. Don't even tell anyone. And just go and watch yourself transform.
Brilliant.
Just go ghost mode. Just do it on your own.
Let everyone else see the change and
and live and feel it. Like and for me at Paint Projects, like our goal at Paint Projects is we want to change the lives of 20,000 painting businesses around the globe. And I'm not stopping until I achieve that goal. And I'm counting it down as we speak. And we're running on our way there now.
And what's the compound effect of that? You achieving that goal? What does that look like?
I know I'm going to change a lot of people's lives out there, but I'm on a global mission to professionalize the painting industry and get painters out of that stigma that we're in, where it was like,
we talk about this. Every other trade has evolved, but the painting trade has stayed stagnant for quite some time.
If you're a chippy or you're a sparky, you held up here. If you're a painter, you held down here. I don't get it. Like we're all tradespeople, that we should all be tradespeople and all equal. But there's levels, and there's only one thing that's stopping.
Perceived levels.
Yeah, perceived levels, and there's only one thing stopping. It's just professionalizing the industry, and I'm on a mission to get it done, and I'm well on my way already. Like in the short period of time.
A born leader. Yes. He's on a mission to get it done. He's not a normal human being. Not normal.
Got to be good.
Definitely not normal. No. And so what does it mean to be on that journey with him, Coxie? Like, why have you chosen to you're working with professional athletes. You're in so many different areas, and that's what I love about you is that you talk about leadership being so transferable. It doesn't matter where you're at, but why Paint Projects? Why the trade industry?
Because I'm at a certain stage of my life where I need to become part of journeys that inspire me to keep climbing.
He's done it all. He's been.
Well, it's keeping me young. It's keeping
Yeah.
me. It forces me to evolve and to become a better version of myself.
Yeah.
You know, and to retire. What does retirement mean anyway? Water
Boring.
the gardens. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's like,
How much golf can you play? I don't know. You can play a lot though.
Play some golf.
right?
Yeah.
So there's nothing more significant, I believe, in then becoming part of someone's vision, like Theo with PaintProjex, and just knowing in the background when it self-actualizes and happens that you played a part in it.
The
And I
ripple
think
effect.
that's a really important part of how you have self-worth and purpose in your life. And that happened for me last year with State of Origin with Michael Maguire when he created history. And we've been together 11 years, and I could stand back in the dressing room, and while he was being interviewed, he was looking straight at me. And
Okay.
we were locked in. But it was
Yeah,
all about him. It
gratitude.
wasn't about me.
Yeah.
But you're part of that journey, man.
Instrumental.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's very special being part of the journey of success. And PaintProjex will be successful.
Yes.
Zero doubt.
So then how do the painters that are, how many subscribers have you got now for the PaintProjex?
337 or something like that.
Users,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
That's-
Users, not companies, because there's different amount of users per company. Some
Sure.
have only a couple users, some
Yep.
have got like 20, 30 users per company. So it's all different.
So how do they unlock this masterclass?
Basically, just go straight on the PaintProjex website. It's all there. It's in the, if you're a subscriber on the platform, you'll see it's in the help center. You know, I've been busy in the studio doing tutorials, as you know. I'm building up a weapon war chest of tutorials there for all our users. I'm going to keep uploading more courses that Coxie and I are going to work together that really hones in on more. Like, this is now the overarching leadership program that we need them to do first.
Yes.
We need to get them in that mindset on what even that looks like, and to be susceptible to being led. Right? Let's break down those barriers and get this first part done. Then we can go into the next stage of them doing the mentor. After that, then we go and deep dive into all the different facets of it, like deeply, you know, because there's no point going to there when they don't get an overview of it first. Once they get that whole overview and they're holding themselves accountable and they feel those fruits of having those changes and behavioral changes in their life, man, their speech change, like things will change. Just the way they hold themselves, the way that they interact with people, the way that they'll grow better relationships. They'll have better relationships, not just at work, mate, with a person that they don't know on the street, their wife or husband or their kids. Like, you grow as a human being, a way better version of yourself. And it's not just about business. It's about you. And being awesome.
You'll become unrecognizable. That's what'll happen. If you commit to the High Performance Team Masterclass, your team that you lead will look at you and they will think you're unrecognizable. You're a leader.
That's awesome.
And those aren't just words. We've seen that here. The last 5 or 6 years, there's so
How's
many individuals
our GMs?
that are
How's our
unrecognizable.
GMs? Our GMs have like all stepped up.
All
like,
the GMs.
You yourself, like
all of them.
Yeah, like everyone that is involved in that structure and that program, they change.
Yeah.
For the better.
And it's, my mentor taught me, unless you're in the tech industry, it takes 20 years to build anything great.
Really?
And I've never forgotten that.
Wow.
It takes 20 years to build anything great.
Sustainable.
To be really great, to be sustainable.
Yeah, like an expert.
And for that business to be really sustainable. And if you look at where Usher is, it's over 20 years now. If you look where my business leadership dynamics is, it's over 20 years now. Yeah. And it's like it's out of control. You can't stop it.
You're tipping into mastery. You're ingrained in the industry. You're ingrained into what you do.
Right.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Okay, so it's leadership is a journey. High performance is a journey. Business is a journey. It doesn't just happen overnight.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good thing, because you're not going to do this course and then just stop. Like, it changes your world.
It will keep you going.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because it's not like, you learnt some skill or something and then and then you finished, you get your diploma or certificate or your whatever, and then you.
Well, that's why we're still here 5 or 6 years
Yeah,
later. You know,
no,
it wasn't
like
like we did a 12-month course with Coxie and then
And
we're
it's
like,
all
we're done now. Yeah.
No,
No, it's a journey.
You're
It's a
unlocking new
journey.
levels every time, right?
every time,
It's a
Yep.
journey.
and I'm still going.
But what will really take the masterclass to the next level for Paint Projects subscribers is the business owner does it first, like you said, Theo.
Yep.
They need to understand it.
They need to get it.
But when they put their people on that program,
Yeah,
watch what happens.
yeah, mate. They're going to double down.
That is the kicker, though.
You saw what that
Oh,
happened,
Right?
Absolutely.
That will be the kicker.
Yep.
Right?
and that's the thing. First thing is breaking down that first barrier, which is what that book did for me.
Yes. Yep.
Because if it wasn't for that book,
Well, you
I
said
would've-
sometimes there's some trigger words and you associate mentors and
Oh,
you just feel like, oh, cringe.
being
like,
led, I was like, what the?
I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
It's like, what does this mean? I've not been led. And then
not
the
being-
more that
being led.
you understood the message behind it just unlocked.
We've all been
Change
led,
your
mate.
perception, change your
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah.
We've all been led.
Yeah.
I've been led my whole life.
Yeah.
By everyone.
Influences everywhere. So if there wasn't already enough reason for Paint Projects users to get onto this masterclass,
Yeah.
well, if we're going to bring this into land, what's one key thing that Coxie's taught you with leadership? What if there's one thing above anything else that's just really stood out to you? Said, you know what, this really changed my world. Is there something there?
Everything rises and falls on leadership. Full stop.
Full stop.
That's it.
John
You
C.
shit
Maxwell.
leader.
John C. Maxwell taught me that everything rises or falls on leadership.
That's it. That's,
Love it.
no matter what industry, no matter what environment, no matter what you're doing, it all will rise or fall on leadership team.
And you
Or
want these
relationship.
guys, you want these young business owners that you were in their shoes 10, 20 years ago. You want them to understand the power of that so that they can shortcut. You're trying to get people to shortcut your journey, right?
100%. That's
Yep.
what all this is about. Like that's that's why we're giving away our IP.
Yep. And you found all these people, tools, resources. You're just trying to give them to people and say, look, grab onto this and watch where it takes
just
you.
watch, just follow. Like follow me. Listen to this. Do this.
Yep.
And this will happen. All those issues and lots of things. Like that we get caught up. They focus on all the 80% of the noise. They just focus on this 20% of things. All that other shit will go away.
The whole world will change.
Yeah. But they just get caught up in, and I get it. That's being a tradie. That's what it is. But they just need someone to just nudge them in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I never had that. And that's why I'm doing it. I'm helping them now. And it's look at the stories we're hearing. Like they're all time.
It's just beginning.
Yeah. And we're not even a year into Paint Projects we're only like 9 months in, and we've got that many subscribers, and I'm changing the lives of that many painters around the globe in this short period of time. And I'm talking all over the globe at events for
just the beginning.
It's like I can't wait. I'm so pumped on launching in the UK and Singapore in July. That's going to be another huge stepping stone. Can't wait to get over there and meet painters. Like, man, we're all like, mate, they are epic. Like, no matter where painters are around the world, and I'm pretty sure it'd be the same for every tradie.
Special characters.
Oh man, that's all time. That's all time.
Yeah,
That's so
I have so much fun with them. It's great. Yeah, it's epic.
Oh, gents, I don't know if we can put any more fuel on the fire here. This has been great chat. I think we might have to do it part 2, but yeah, I'm just so inspired by both of you. It's so cool to see what you're doing. And even though I feel like you're leaving Usher Group behind now, you guys are going to a new stratosphere. I know what impact you're going to have in the world and what you're doing. So I'm excited to watch and see that and be part of the journey too.
Thank you,
mate. You're an inspiration and you inspire me, mate. Your journey and what you've been going through and where you're at right now.
Beautiful
I'm
human being,
so grateful to have you in my world,
special
mate.
human, mate.
So grateful. You are so amazing, and we are all so grateful to have you at the Usher Group leading us, mate. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for you either, mate. So thank you, sir.
Thanks for the opportunity.
No worries. And action. Okay, so here we are, gents. I want to introduce you to someone that I know called Dylan from Pure Perfection Painting, based out at Jim Boomba. I've known Dylan for a while now. Yeah, really liked getting to know Dylan. He was a version of myself. I saw in him where I was a long time ago, and it gave me heaps of passion to help him get out of the zone that he was in, because the shit that he goes through is exactly we all started somewhere, and we all were doing the same thing as a young tradie trying to give it a crack to go from being an epic tradie to being a business owner. And he's well on that journey now. And from the time that I first met you to where you are now, he's got a story to tell.
What'd you see in Dylan?
I saw me, mate. Like, I see me in so many younger painters that are there, that they know that they've got it. They know that they're doing well. And that's why I told you before, Coxie, like, no one helped me. It was fuck. I had to do all this spilt milk to get to where I was. And that's why I was like, I'm so passionate now about stopping so many younger painters go through this spilt milk, through the stuff that I can give them, because no one helped me get there. I had to learn it my own way, which is still good for growth because you learn from those experiences, right? But if someone just gave me the heads up a few times, I would have got there quicker. I'm 48 now, and I could have been hit where I am now quicker than where I am now.
Still never satisfied.
but look,
to
answer your question, like I saw me in him, like I do heaps of other painters.
He's a dreamer. He wants
ambition.
To succeed.
He's good at what he does. The froth is real. He loves what he does. He's got clear, pure passion in what he does, and you can see that in him. The way he holds himself, the way he talks. When I first spoke to him, he listened. He didn't brush me off. He didn't even know who I was, and took it in. And then we started building a bit of a relationship there, like talking about work and talking about things that happen in the construction industry, and then it grew from there. Then he got onto PaintProjex. I personally did the demo for him and his Mrs. Page, who's another awesome person. And then together, like, they just got it. Like, well, I'll let you tell the story, but yeah, that first demo, they got it. They saw the power of that salt and what that would do to their business, and then they took it and ran with it.
So what's PaintProjex doing for your business right now? How's it impacted your life? How's it impacted your relationship with your partner being in the business, for example?
To be honest, PaintProjex, it is a nugget of gold. Like, it is one of the most useful softwares I've ever seen. Saves me time quoting. I'm able to actually get everything out. The professionalism of it. I've been commented on by a builder that we work with. That's got now my new quotes.
Yeah.
He goes, "You're showing me up when I'm showing my clients this because it looks better than mine."
That's
quite
awesome.
literally, and I'm winning hand over fist jobs that are just.
And that's the thing, the power of when you're doing the hard sell on the site at the moment you're there. When you're producing that level of professional documentation, especially the site-specific specifications with the color swatches, the thumbnail of the products, right there when you've actually visited the site, not going back to the office, going to them, I'll get back to you, I'll send the quote, and then you wait a week, and then it's whatever, like a Word document. When you're doing it there, that's power.
I used to do zero. Zero was my quoting, and it'd be written out, scope of works, and then a price. Versus now, I'm finding, at first, the one thing that I didn't like about it, because being a tradie, is itemized.
Yeah.
So walls are a certain price. I thought the clients were going to go, what? Like, that's weird. But as I started doing renos at home and that kind of stuff, I've also noticed that a lot of companies are like that. So sending out that, I've found that comments from residential clients, even, they love it. Absolutely love it.
They love the level of detail.
The level of detail.
Because they're getting clarity.
They're getting clarity on what each item is costing them.
It's adding more value into the quote because they're actually understanding.
Which grows trust with your clients.
Exactly. And then it's just a click of a button.
Yeah.
And it's sent.
And everyone's got a different style on that too. Like, obviously I've spoken to you before, but I love being transparent. A lot of painters don't like that. Some painters just like price for painting and one number. And then it's like guesswork for the customer.
Yep.
But then imagine then you going up against that painter that does a one line, then you come up with ceilings, walls, doors, frames, coating systems, site-specific specification with their, address, thumbnail of the colors and products, and they're like, holy shit, this guy knows exactly what he's doing, and I know what I'm paying for.
And you're growing your credibility.
Yes.
You're looking like an expert.
Massively. And being a younger guy, looking young, 32, looking younger than that, it's very hard to get clients that are in their late 40s, early 50s to trust that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 12 years.
Yes.
But to present that, I'm good with articulating my words when I'm quoting. But when you're sending something that I used to send interior paint job at a price.
Price for painting.
And then I started doing interior painting scope, and I'd show them a whole scope of works.
Yeah.
I noticed my win rate went up.
Yeah.
And now I've noticed my win rate. I've only lost one job since
using
PaintProjex.
Wow.
Yeah.
One decline.
That's epic.
Yep.
And
Hey, I didn't know that one. How good is that, mate?
And I know a lot of tradies in any industry, like painting, for example, their spouses work in the business.
Yep.
Does your partner work in the business?
Yes,
What does
she
she
does.
do? What does she do?
Admin, HR,
Okay.
and
Okay, so how's PaintProjex helping her with that, and how's it helping your relationship as well? Because it's not easy to be in business with your partner sometimes. I've been in business with my partner for 37 years.
to be honest, PaintProjex has helped her get clarity on like the ins and outs, what things cost. Being able to then also go onto an iPad and go, where are we supposed to be? She can actually see where the boys are.
Yeah, scheduling. Yeah.
Scheduling. It's got all the swims, so everything that she wants to be able to put in for our processes and anything that is like HR related, policies, procedures, all that kind of stuff to make sure that we're doing what we should be doing for our guys. It's all there.
And all
And
pre-populated.
Pre-populated, it is.
Yeah.
And so would you recommend PaintProjex to anyone who's partners in the business as well, that is going to help you run the business better together as a couple?
I recommend PaintProjex to anyone. Doesn't matter if the partner's in the picture or not. It is the golden nugget that I think that a lot of painters don't know it's there.
Yeah.
They need to know it's there.
And you know what's one thing there, like, you know, like you're saying, whether it's your partner or whatever, because when you're on the tools and you're running around, your people on site, you're running around doing quotes, you're coming back home at night, you don't have a lot of that time to actually nurture and grow the people, because you're in that nightmare zone that I used to call it, you know, where you're wearing every cap in the business. You're out there running jobs, making sure they're profitable, making sure the pipeline's thick for your next jobs. And then that poor admin person that's sitting there doing a lot of the grunt work, the back end, paying your people, getting everything all sorted in the back. You don't really have that time to sit there and nurture them and go through it. But when you've got a piece of software, not just PaintProjex, but you've got a good platform where there's visibility and live data at any one time, it makes things so much simpler, because you're almost communicating without communicating, because you can see each other's work at all time. You could go to a site, get a quote done, have it submitted. They'll be on that dashboard. They can see that you've done that.
Exactly.
They can see exactly what's going on. You can go, right, we've won that. He or she could see that and start getting ready to schedule and order product. Like that level of transparency within an organization is just as powerful as what it is for external people looking in.
Well, she can get in and see what jobs we're winning or what we've won to be able to schedule in, because anything over $4,000 we offer in-house color consult. That's Paige's department as well. So she goes out and does her colors.
That's awesome.
So she's able to then go onto the iPad
Pick
the colors, and then it's all there, bang, for the boys.
That's
Wow.
really good.
The one thing that I love about it is the product
Purchasing.
specification of the purchasing summary.
Yeah.
That is like,
God.
you know how much time that saves with guys having to go to the paint shop?
Oh, mate.
You said-
Working out how much paint they need. It's like, right.
Working
and
out
to
how
order
much
it.
they need, but it's more the fact of I give them a product purchasing summary. They can call it in the day before they go. I need it here at 7 a.m. They don't have to go to the paint shop. They don't spend an hour browsing around in the paint shop.
Yeah.
There's an hour for a
100%.
guy that I'm not paying for.
And has there been an impact on your bottom line already? Like you're only just really getting into using the software.
We had a bad start to business.
Yep.
Yeah. So I took a leap into working with volume builders, which in the grand aspects, I wasn't making enough money. I was paying my guys too much.
You're making wages.
I wasn't even making wages. I lost 90 grand in the space of 7 months,
Wow.
including the tax implements on it all.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost shut me down. I seen
That's terrible news.
I seen what was going on, and I went, nah, okay, cool. We need to get out of this. Went straight to a marketer, got my marketing out, and then this is only June last year.
Wow.
Right. It's 12
Wow.
months.
12 months.
And pretty much I met you only a couple months after that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
The job that we were finalists for was one of those builds.
Yeah, right.
It's the only thing that came out of it was a finalist award, really. It hangs on my wall. There's a $90,000 poster. We learned a lot of aspects, like a lot of like my apprentices got to learn a lot, so they're better for it, and I see it as a kind of a silver lining of what we learned
And
from
now
it.
here you are 12 months later, right? And so what do you see for the next 12 months now that you're starting to really understand how to use the software?
The next 12 months, honestly, I'm hoping to grow a bit more in the knowledge, the leadership side of it, and getting. I want to take one part off of my plate and have a production manager. That's my next step, and either I promote in-house or we look for someone that can do that. I'm quoting a lot. My leads are going strong, and I'm able to get quotes out really fast. So and detailed.
And with the High Performance Team Masterclass, which is what we are launching together, one of the modules there will talk to you about power personality profiling and the right people in the right roles. There's an actual profile for a production manager.
Yeah, that is really
that you need to get right, because if you get the right people in the right roles in any business,
magic happens.
Magic will happen.
And if you don't get the right people in the right roles,
the opposite.
You just on a hamster wheel, just spinning backwards,
Which,
because you're actually not progressing forward. You just
and the reason why Theo's brought the High Performance Team Masterclass that I developed onto the platform is because it's great. You're going really well with the software, and you're learning how to price jobs and schedule things and make more money, and that's great. But if you don't know how to get right people in right roles, and how to build your culture, and how to handle conflict, and how to cast vision, and there's a lot that you need to do to take the business to the next level.
Yeah,
because and Theo that's why he's putting it as part of the program. You've got to nail both.
Yes, you got to nail both 100%. Your software gives you obviously visibility and transparency, and overnight you've got systems and processes. Whereas when you're a tradie becoming a business person, you've got to start working out all your workflows and start working out systems and processes and documentation for those processes. Well, once you get software like PaintProjex, well, that just nails that overnight. Like you've instantly got systems and processes, but you're not going to build a business until you can take that nightmare hat off and put people in the right roles. And then when you're starting to do that and growing, which is what you're doing now, which we've been discussing, the next stage, like growing sales and growing operations people, to manage those two aspects, you have to be ready to be a leader and to build the right culture.
Yeah.
And then that starts with getting the right people in the right roles, nurturing them through, and everything that the masterclass teaches you, what goes on about one-on-ones and all the rest of it. But they all go hand in hand.
And giving them the right tools to be able to take it.
100%. You can't. They go hand in hand. You can't put people on until you got them, and you can't grow without them either.
Correct.
So it goes in hand. But Dylan, talk to me. You made a comment to me a couple of weeks back when we had a quick phone discussion about with the I'm so passionate about the budget hours, right? My company is I just belt it out 24/7.
Drill.
Yeah. But you made a real good comment to me that, and it's a lot of the stuff that I go on about, but you actually said it back to me. You were like, my people know what a fair day's pay for a fair day's work is now.
Yep.
From the hours, because obviously the software spells it out for them how many square meters per hour per person per coat. But you were saying, man, like you didn't raise your rates. You're saying, mate,
I've stayed the same.
I'm making way more money. What you were saying to me, your gross profit went up.
My gross profit, mate, this is even this month, right? So this month is even better.
Wow.
So this month is absolutely nuts. It's our first, I've kicked it out of the park kind of thing.
Wow.
I'm sitting at 35% net.
Wow.
Right.
Yes. Woo!
Coming off of the back of a few months that have been bad, closing in on negatives.
Yeah.
To have this month being a month that has just taken off, and it's the first month that I've actually put this completely, wholeheartedly, it has gone in. I'm scheduling off of it. I'm looking at the actual live data of toggling the work every day, making sure that we're on track with our hours.
Yeah, actual versus budget. Yeah.
Oh, mate, it is nuts.
Killer.
And yet 12 months ago, you had a $90,000 loss.
Yeah.
And here you are 12 months later.
Live data.
Managing
actual versus budget.
Yeah.
You're not going to fall into that trap again. You're going to see it coming a mile away.
Yes,
And now
exactly.
you get to the special zone where you get to tweak it. You know, you get to go, right, I know, and then especially when you were saying the boys are reporting up to you going, oh, mate, we're beating their hours.
Yep.
And what you were saying, you were like, you gave them gift cards and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That's epic.
So
I love
if
that.
they beat my my budgeted hours,
Yeah.
I give them bonuses.
Yes.
In the form of gift cards,
Yeah.
box of beers, whatever it
Mate,
may
do you
be,
know,
whatever.
mate, it's win-win. And people would forget that, you know, like, mate, your employees are kicking. Mate, what has Coxie taught me? Your brand and your business. It's the people behind the brand that make your business.
Mhm.
It's not the product. It's the people.
My
And when
first year, I
people
put
really start giving a shit about their people and growing them, nurturing them, rewarding, remunerating, dude, that's when your life gets easier.
Yeah.
It's all this other whole mentality where it's like, oh yeah, no, paying for their, you know, that's it and whatever. Like it's just not, it's not cricket.
The product is not the product. The product is people. The number one asset of any business is the people. So you're the business owner. That's great. You've got an amazing software program now, which is helping you increase your GP and net profit. But if you don't grow your people and get them into the right roles, that software can be
Whatever.
Mickey
Yeah.
Mouse and it ain't going to help you.
Exactly.
Would you agree with that?
I do.
100%.
100%.
Right. So you've got to understand that you're actually rare being in this seat. How many painters out there need paint projects, do you think?
I've already said it. Every single one. Every single one.
So then
Whether it's a one-man band.
So
Yeah.
then why aren't they all signed up yet?
Probably because they don't know about
That's
it.
right.
Awareness.
Yeah. Awareness.
Yeah.
Or
Ego.
ego.
Yeah, probably that's a bit as well. Like people.
She'll be
knowing
right,
that
mate.
Don't need that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny you say that because a lot of the old boys, they're stuck in their ways
Mhm.
and they still, you know, they don't believe in implementing tech because we're tradies. But they don't realize that every other trade service, like Sparkies, plumbers, and the like, they've all had tech for years.
Correct.
Evolved
And they've
massively.
got multiple options of
Correct.
tech. The painter, we got left behind.
They all run their businesses on iPads.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
And like painters, like we're just working off Excel and
Yep.
and spreadsheets and Word, and there's so many painting companies that actually are having to use a Sparky, like an electrical piece of software or a plumber, and then adapt it to a painting business. We got left behind, and it's made this thing now out there that painters think that they don't need software, but they're never going to get out of that nightmare zone and have the transparency and visibility of their business until they implement tech. There's no doubt.
Honestly, I don't know how I quoted jobs profitably before. Like, quite literally, I'd go into a job and go, all right, this will take about this long. I need to make this much money.
Just go,
Do my ass every now and then.
Buzz your eyes.
just guessing.
But what's very unique about this situation with paint projects is that Theo's giving all his IP away.
Yeah.
Let's say he never invested millions of dollars into developing that platform, that software, that he kept it all to himself.
Which we were for a long time.
Long time.
Okay, so would you be where you're at right now after
No.
what happened last year?
No. I would be still going in guessing how much and how long.
Right.
Not having a system to be able to give my guys exactly how many hours they have on a job.
Right, and you've been 12 years doing it as a profession, right? So that's the big message to any painter that's watching this right now is that this software can change your life.
And you're not going to change if you don't change.
Change equals progress. Without change, there can be no progress. What you're not changing, you are choosing. Change something or change nothing. You decided to change something, stepped out on faith and invested into paint projects. And here you are now having a record month. Maybe you're just lucky, mate. And
We'll
maybe
see.
you're not.
We'll see.
Hey,
Right.
We're completely booked, and I'm booking into June.
yes.
That's right.
Like,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it was fate that we.
Mm.
It's funny too, you know, like for me, it's sort of funny how everything comes together and works because the painters that are brought in front of me are the ones that energetically need it, and they're the ones that I'd sort of get a connection with, and then not just Dylan. There's so many Dylans that are on paint projects now that, like I've told you before, Coxie, all the the phone calls, the emails, and the gratitude, and
How many painters you got on it now?
there's 330 something users. Right
330 users.
now. Yeah,
And
not
you're only
painting companies, because there's
Yep.
different amount of users per painting
Yeah.
company. Some painting companies have got 20 or 30. Some have
Yep.
got 2
Yep.
or 1. So
Mhm.
it's different amount of users, but all up and we only launched
That's right.
not even a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And but the biggest thing is we're changing lives all over the globe, and it's happening in the US. We're in 4 countries now in less than a year. We're in Canada, the US, New Zealand, and Australia, and we're hitting the UK and Singapore in July.
Nice.
There's one final thing you could say to a painter that's considering investing in paint projects. What would you say to that painter who's watching you right now? What would you say from painter to painter?
Jump, do it now. Jump, do it now.
Yeah. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Why keep guessing?
Yeah.
Like, take the guesswork out. Like,
Mhm.
jump, do it now.
Just have a crack. What do you got to lose? That's
Nothing to lose and everything to gain.
That's the one. Quite literally.
Dylan actually came to the US when I went and spoke there at the PCA conference.
Oh, really?
Yeah, him and Paige came there, and we ended up having
yes.
19 Aussies that were there at the PCA conference. It
All
was
hungry.
awesome,
Oh,
mate. Epic.
It was the best experience.
Yeah.
Best
And
experience.
does your team know what you're doing today? You've come here and everything?
No.
No one knows.
It
where the
was so
software
good
came
there.
from?
But him and I and Paige, his missus, hung out heaps over there because we were just so intrigued, like seeing all the different styles of painters,
Mhm.
Pete, whether you're, we call it man in your van painter here, there it's chuck in your truck,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got the big corporate,
Yep.
top 10, that all turn over $100 million US and got planes for cars.
Jets and
Yeah, a
Jets.
guy that has three private jets or something.
There's so
Yep.
many companies that have them because that's how they get around the States. The States is such a big place, and that's how they get around. They treat them like we treat vans.
Yep.